Hello, everyone. It's Pete. This is Dream Warriors. This is going to be what, episode 89. Wow, marching along. Took a little bit of a break. Let's just hit that music, and we're going to dive right into it. I don't know if diving into it is the right phrase. It sounded good at the time. We're at the 8 o'clock hour in the AM on Monday, May 14th, 2018. So here's the crazy thing. The more I've done this, the more of a radio voice I think I've gotten. As much of a radio voice that I can have, by the way. But anyway, yeah, so we're sitting down. We're maybe going to just do some updates real quick. I'm not sure if we're going to touch on any movies. I just want to get some things out of my head onto the show and kind of like moving on. Uh, I got to address the elephant in the room. There's been a pause. So roughly a 21-day pause between episodes, which is the longest since I committed to regular Dream Warrior rollouts. The reason for this is we kind of lost 2 weeks with Infinity War. Got into a weird pattern. Every single time I sat down to do a Infinity War, I even recorded a full solo episode that is that addresses the Marvel villain problem, which is technically not a problem if you look at it in a adult way. But so that not even released. I may not even probably won't go back and get workshopped. I may chop it up and throw it on Facebook. Facebook is going to become a little bit more of a targeted direct media dump for me because I produce so much. Facebook is actually becoming more and more of a venue to put this stuff out there because usually Facebook everything trickles into Facebook. So everything I do on Twitter and Instagram, again, just look for me, aka Pad, aka Pad 13. On all social networks, I'm aka Pad 13, or aka Pad 69. Oh, we got an airplane flying over. We're also drinking 3-day-old coffee here. Okay, maybe acceptable. But yeah, and so Infinity War, we lost 2 solid weeks. Lost recordings, and then kind of like everything with Chris completely fell apart. Last time Chris and I hung out, we recorded potentially I think 2 episodes, which I will not release. Episode 89 or episode 88 will probably be the last of Chris's episodes. And all this was gearing up to Chris taking over the show, for the majority of the episodes, starting with episode 100. And, I wanted to accelerate his practice and, professionalism and productivity, meaning that, I wanted him to do more with the show, actually be able to produce it and engineer it. So, the last time him and I spent a night here, which is here would be my studio loft home, which is 90% work work living space, where we I do draw the live casting, proposals, meetings, all the YouTube stuff, Dream Warriors. It goes on and on and on. And he easily, obviously, was on something. I could tell just by his focus, by what he was able to do and what he was not able to do. And, I kind of felt like maybe there was a time where I jumped into the bathroom and he was doing something. So, anyway, he tried to maybe do something real quick while he thought I was in the bathroom. And it's unfortunate. It's sad. Since that day, Chris has not responded to any messages from me, and we had stuff lined up. We had at least a day of recording leading into Infinity War lined up. And it completely fell apart. And it's not like I'm taking the show away from him or not publishing his episodes to make a point. Like I'm using those episodes kind of like as we would within like if the show was just bigger as of like back end help and like audience, meaning that sometimes things happen and episodes just don't go live or they don't air and they end up on the shelf, and that's how we kind of get shelved episodes. And I'm always digging for shelved episodes because I feel more comfortable moving forward with shelved episodes. How many times can I say shelved episodes? And yeah, like I do believe Chris is talented. I think he has a knack. I think he has, like a confidence problem. But I think if he controlled that, he still would be great for Dream Warriors and all the YouTube stuff. So, what's really going to happen is that, everything is just left open for him. It's here. It's waiting. You come back. When the time is right, and we'll restart that process, and maybe make it less serious. So a lot of it too was that when you have someone with drug addiction around you, you want to accelerate their life. You kind of want to amp it up to keep them busy because you don't trust them being idle. Because you kind of know what's going to happen if they're idle. And like I would say, like I'm the perfect person for that. Like I'm the perfect supervillain when it comes to drug use. I can thwart the power of the drugs because with me, you can always do something around me. I can have you doing things day and night. I can maybe go into your life and help you look at things differently, improve things. When I do that, I look at my own life. I feel euphoric. I feel like I'm doing like great things because I'm helping someone. I'm like, oh God, like that advice I just gave, I have to start doing that. And that's like that's part of the cycle. And even from my perspective, that's my drug. That's what's addicting to me. So, Chris and I, we touched a little bit on our history within the show, but it's a long storied history, and I hate to say it, but someone with addictive personality, like a addictive mindset, personality, they have that switch. It's it's hard to understand and see until you see it. Okay, and I've seen it a lot with him. I've seen it in different fashions, like like different like almost like particles, and it's it's like you want to just reach into that person's gut and make them do things, and they can't, and you think they've hit rock bottom and they can start to rebuild and regrow, and they haven't, and like you're waiting for that rock bottom that is either like they're not coming back or like they are ready to get better. So that's where I'm at with Chris. That's another reason for the pause. I wanted to suck it in, contract, and refocus what my efforts were going to be, because Dream Warriors, in effect, still at the end of the day, is it's a Peter-driven effort, and as it should be. So, Infinity War came and went. It's at 1.6 hundred quadrillion dollars right now. We did like a pretty good YouTube rollout. Did about four YouTube. Well, it's six if you consider the drawing. Like 6 episodes, like six videos of Infinity War driven content, and like the channel definitely took an upswing, took a spike. And look, again, we're dealing with low subscribers, but the view rates and the time spent is very, very uplifting. And today I'll be editing our Deadpool. So for Infinity War, I was like, we have to just do drink videos. I really don't care. Like, this is just something I've been wanting to do. So we create a drink that's in theme to the movie. So for Infinity War, we did a drink called the Thanos, and it was purple. And for Deadpool, it's a red drink called the Deadpool. So, because you have to be a fool to drink it. And it did hit Mark and I. And shout out to Mark for being the steady hand, who is very much like turning a corner. Amazing, brighter things happening with him. Since I've known him, Mark has completely I want to say rehabbed. He like rebooted his entire life. So many things that held him up are now released. They're gone. They're gone. And I will toot my own horn. A lot of this came from my coaching, forceful coaching, push pull coaching, tough love type coaching. But Mark's been a steady hand. So Mark and I did the Deadpool video. I was working on it a little bit throughout the weekend. Couldn't get like a good enough stretch going because I had to redo some of my areas for different YouTube sets and backgrounds. So there's always a lot happening. So the YouTube effort also contributed to the Slowdown with Dream Warriors. But Infinity War, I've seen it twice by now. Saw it with John both times. Saw it with Mark. The three of us saw it the first time. And I really have to say, it's good to discuss the movie, letting it sit a little bit. But this movie, it's going to be so unique because no one's going to be able to recreate exactly everything that led into it. It is a 10-year-long, 20-episode like TV show. Like a little bit so much, like because people are saying, oh, like all these movies, not really, like not all these movies really connect. Iron Man 2 doesn't really connect. Okay, like the first Thor doesn't really connect. Paul Rudd's movie doesn't, like, what does Paul Rudd's movie have to do with Infinity War? Nothing at all. So it's cool to see like some of these things that they put in movies that ended here or that came to like a point here. It's really nice to see the evolution of some of the characters and where they are. Like Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, the Thor dude. It's really cool to see that those characters kind of have evolved and changed and shifted. Kind of becoming different but staying the same at the same time. Like very skillfully done there. Seeing the rise and fall of some characters, seeing the death of some characters. This is what makes Infinity War so epic, so cool to watch. Like how would I recommend this to someone? How would I, I really can't. It's hard for me to recommend this movie unless you know about the movies, okay? And like this is a little bit of like where we kind of. Oh, hey Dallas decided to pay us a visit. What's up, buddy? You want to eat some of your food? Maybe no. Dallas has been kind of weird with his food again. He went on a stretch where he was eating seafood, and now it looks like he's completely off seafood. No big deal there. I just had to check to make sure Dallas could get to his food. He pushes it underneath. He can push the bowl sometimes, and kind of paranoid sometimes if he has access to it. But I think he kind of does that all the time, and he ends up getting all the food regardless. But yeah, so Infinity War, it's a tough recommendation. It really is, because even if you know about all the movies leading into Infinity War, I mean, even where we are, I mean, you literally have to watch Thor Ragnarok to Infinity War. So now it's like you're pushing 5 hours. Like, it's a 5-hour investment. I'm not really sure like who has time for that. I'm not even sure if people who have time to retain Thor Ragnarok going into Infinity War. And this is little bit of the failure of Infinity War of a movie because it doesn't hold up to its own weight, and that's the platitude. But let me explain. The movie needs help from like the audience for another audience member to understand it. Now, this is a little bit of the Avengers effect where they were like, well, let's just put Thanos at the end, and all the people who know who Thanos is will tell everyone who isn't known, like who isn't in the know. They'll do that for us. And it maybe like I guess maybe it worked, but like as the years went on, like no one was like, hey, how about like where's that purple guy at the end of Avengers? Like where is he? That really wasn't in the conversation. And look, by conversation, I mean normal people. I don't mean the 10 people that hit some of these websites and just endlessly leave comments. I mean, the real audience, the real people. No one really cared. No one really thought about it. So this also leads to a little bit of the perception that there's just too many superhero movies because again the regular audience members just see superhero movie they're not thinking it's connecting and it's doing this and it's doing that. So you cannot sit down someone like just sit them down, and I said the same thing about Civil War. You cannot sit down someone, just sit them down with Infinity War and say, please, like, watch this. Like, like, it's just stick with the movie. It's going to pay off. It's going to be like this big thing. It's definitely a impossibility because the movie starts and there's like action and fighting from the get go. From the get go, there's very little setup even within the characters, so it fails. I mean, it's okay to admit Infinity War fails and Civil War fail as movies. You can't watch Civil War without explaining who Bucky is, frame one, scene one. You can't. You can't watch that movie. You have to narrate the movie for someone. So I view Infinity War the same exact way, but how Infinity War delivered the level of emotion into it, the way it was done, the way it was structured, and the way it does flow out. Look, if you're familiar with all of the movies and going into Infinity War, I'll tell you, Infinity War is so unique. It will never be repeated, never be replicated, even within Marvel Studios. It's a one-of-a-kind experience that, you dream about this stuff when you read comics. That's where Infinity War is the success. It stuck the landing. That's the biggest achievement for this movie. Nothing to do with the actual filmmaking. They decided what was going to happen in these movies, and they played it out to the very end. The movie has architects, and I will forever love the movie because of that. I mean, it's a hell of a run. It's a feast, but when we're talking about films and filmmaking. In movies, it's not. The movie's a failure, and it's okay it's a part of it. You being in that middle. Okay. So those are some of my initial thoughts with Infinity War. I might extrapolate. I might do a little bit more. I kind of do want to see the movie again. I feel like during this time, like every few, like every other week, I should go see it. So I'm kind of overdue this week. I should actually check it out. But we do have Deadpool coming this week. I will be seeing Deadpool as early as Thursday. I don't try and track down the super early access to movies. I know some people do that. I don't know. Like it doesn't add nothing to it. Like being first to market. I'm more worried about being best in class, meaning. Sit down, listen to Dream Warriors, and get some real insight, get some real ideas about what these movies are, what they mean, what's happening with them, and also we drill down into productions and who's making what. and work histories or filmographies and things like that. But I'm 100% looking forward to Deadpool. I'm hoping it's just like an extension, the continuation, a Spy Who Shagged Me situation from like Austin Powers. So let's just like like repeat what we know what works and crank it up like between those scenes. This definitely seems to already be that. Like I hate to say, but or like, like, am I excited for Cable? Like, not really. I'm not. Uh, Cable's not being introduced the right way. They're forming X Force not the right way. Cable's the one that forms X Force from New Mutants. So, like, see, here's the thing, okay? Because Cable is connected to Deadpool because they both kind of came out at the same time, people think that the two are related. No. No, Cable came from New Mutants, and he he came from New Mutants, and he's related to the lineage of the X-Men. So, and he came to the New Mutants. Oh, and when he, I'm sorry, just had to move there. But when Cable came to the New Mutants, he transformed them. He radicalized them. That's my new phone. And they adopted the moniker of X-Force because they were changing, they were evolving, and it was a good fit for the book at the time. To end New Mutants with issue 100 and move into X-Force, because the New Mutants book was failing out of concept. Okay, not so much execution, because what happened was, like, Rob Liefeld came in, he transformed that book, but it on concept it wasn't the same book. So that was only sustainable, I think, for about like 16 issues, for like a year and a half, and then it eventually became, oh, there he is. What's up, buddy? You ran. He runs so quick in silence sometimes. Sorry about that, but he is a little bit of a ninja. Dallas, how you doing, buddy? But yeah, so those are some of my initial thoughts with Deadpool. I'm curious of how they handle Deadpool, if he really is from a apocalypse, the character-driven future, or not. If the kid that they're looking for in the movie is connected to Apocalypse somehow, or is the kid Apocalypse in the future? Is the kid the one that brings the apocalypse? I don't know. I think that's a potential. But yeah, so like in all, I think Deadpool's gonna be a home run, and then we have Solo coming up, and Solo is Gettysburg. There's so much on the line with Solo. People are waiting for Solo to fail. They want it to fail. People want to end Star Wars. Just out of a idea of being like betrayed, forgotten, having their backs turned on them, and it all comes from Last Jedi. Last Jedi's Shockwave took out Force Awakens too. Force Awakens is never now on the list of like good Star Wars movies, like when they're ranked, which is amazing to me because I still think that's the best one. It's the most Star Wars of all the movies. Sorry, Empire lovers. But yeah, so I don't know, everyone. I'm going to sign off here. I wanted just to do a quicker episode. We have Deadpool content coming up. Hit the Facebook page for more and more updates. They're going to be on the reg. I'm doing my best to keep track and announce schedules, but schedule's going to be on Twitter at AKAPAD. And, after Deadpool, we're going to go right into Solo mode, and then right into Jurassic World mode, Lost Kingdom. And, and we're going to be doing more sit-downs like this. I'm going to get back into this because I think, these tangents are like the foundation of the show. But look, everyone, have a great day. Enjoy yourselves, and good luck to you.